Welcome back to yet another short brush with consciousness. Now I'd like to ask you where you would place consciousness in your physical body. Just give it a thought. Exactly where is consciousness seated in your body? Some 400 years ago, a French philosopher, René Descartes, found that the body is mostly a biological machine, and that consciousness lives outside the body with a plug-in to the physical at the pineal gland that sits deep in the middle of the brain, almost straight between your eyes and about 10 centimeters in. In this way, he established a view that we call dualism, an almost complete separation of body and consciousness. Theoretically, it might well be so, but it doesn't explain anything, nor even exactly how this plug-in mechanism works. The idea of a separation between matter and consciousness is still alive and kicking today in materialistic philosophy and science. The present view is that matter, when becoming sufficiently complex and equally complex brain develops, matter will generate consciousness out of itself. The problem is that no one is able to explain how, even when considering the brain at quantum levels. Observing the brain by whichever available method, and at any level of depth, the emergence of consciousness remains invisible. It all grinds to a halt. Consciousness remains invisible. Not even the slightest glimpse of a thought shows up on the screen. No instrument attached to the skull, or even inserted in the various sectors of the brain itself, are able to write on a thought to the screen. Even though scientists may make some qualified guess from observing which part of the brain is activated in various conditions, what goes on in the mind of the individual remains unavailable and unobservable. The readings just show changes in the firing of neurons and in the bloodstream. So, why are we not able even to get a glimpse of consciousness itself with all our advanced instruments? May the entire materialistic approach be wrong? Indeed, I think so. No, I not only think it is wrong, I know it is. How can I possibly know? Well, let me take you back to the initial question. Where do you think your consciousness sits? In your brain, somehow? Okay, let me take your word for it. Indeed, medical science, neurology, says that the body is neurologically controlled by the brain. It is to a certain degree very true. Yet consciousness is there somewhere, the ghost in the machine. The fact that the brain governs the body neurologically actually does not answer the question. It just gives the brain a status as an executive, executing the impulses it receives from your cognitive or your unconscious mind. In fact, the multitude of life-maintaining processes in your body are executed without you giving it even the slightest thought. It works autonomously and reacts automatically to stimuli, hence Descartes' observation. It seems that the control mechanisms are somewhat distributed throughout the entire body. Permit that I say that they are so distributed. Does this imply that there may be some distribution of consciousness in the body too, and not only the brain? Is the body itself conscious? What do you think? I hope you have seen my two first podcasts, where you are first stripped down to nothing and then rebuilt on a scaffold of consciousness. I will proceed from there in order to explain that which Descartes could not explain, and what materialistic science refused to understand. Note well that materialist science almost completely avoids considering consciousness, and does not take it into account in the fields of research. Yet considering the entire cosmos being alive and consciousness in every imaginable and non-imaginable level, we have a starting point. For your information, it is not a new idea, but a several thousand-year-old understanding of the world that some indigenous people still hold for true, called panpsychism. It is not of my creation. In the first podcasts, I rebuilt you into an existing living being from the concept that consciousness generates matter. This idea is diametrically opposite to the materialistic, mechanistic worldview. Considering consciousness being the fundamental and all-pervading matter of the cosmos, unlimited in space and time, it must be the force generating all there is, whether material or non-material. That includes you and me, and our living bodies, so follow me. Imagine the entire cosmos, including our visible universe and far more, being alive with an energy vibrating over an endless scale of octaves. Let us call this energy consciousness. This consciousness is the very being of existence and extends eternally and limitlessly throughout. Being is the expression of existence, so to say, it is the will to be. Thus parts of the scale of the octaves coagulates into matter, first by creating the ephemeral quantum particles. With some density, they build up atoms and combine into larger structures. Within this plenum, that science and our senses observe as void, appears new larger structures, all emanating from this cosmic will to be. Cosmic fog slowly spirals into stars and planets while contributing to clusters and galaxies and even greater structures. In some places, like on our planet, conditions enable fragments of this will to materialize in fragments, some of which are human beings. Consciousness thus resides in every quantum particle of our body, and every atom, every cell is built thereof. Consciousness is basic and matter is one of its many expressions. This understanding solves the Cartesian problem and takes dualism down to monism. There is one and only one basic substance in the world, an all-pervading consciousness. This is the prima materia. Now let us leave the endless depths of timelessness of the cosmos and return to the body. As is usually understood, every material object, whether biological or not, is composed of atoms, usually chained together into molecules such as crystals and proteins. The entire human DNA helix is one such construction residing within every cell that makes up your body. Needless to say, this is all basically consciousness, a dense web of consciousness. Now the more complex question: how does this web work, and how is it that it carries you around, your identity, you as an individual person? First, you need to realize that your existence is a fragment of consciousness, even though fully embedded in the cosmic. Your body, your conscious existence, is like a limited focal point in the cosmic web. Your whole being is coagulated consciousness in a human shape. Basically, this is to say that all of you is consciousness. Consciousness is the building block of your body, bone, flesh and brain. This is what makes it work perfectly and in full synchronicity. As I explained in my book, Consciousness as Urgrund and Fragment, the body consists of a large percentage of water, about 70–75%. This water differs from the water in the sea and the water you get from the tap in your home. On the quantum level, it connects your body and synchronizes its functions. Your brain and your nervous system is part of this. It would be unable to function if the quantum level synchronization ceased to work. Here lies the key to understanding where consciousness resides in your body. It is everywhere, streaming through all of you from a level below the quanta manifesting quantum particles, continually renewing them, and keeping your body intact on all other levels. Considering the fact that this also goes on for your brain, your cognitive mind is always also rooted in the cosmic, yet always quite blurred by the material. Due to lack of transparency, the cosmic never fully shines through. The mind of man is usually very, very foggy. In order to clear away the fog, you need to develop your access to higher levels of consciousness and open up different spaces. This implies learning to enter other states of consciousness. Some individuals have such access as a birth gift. They receive glimpses of light, cosmic inspiration, and are often able to express their visions in art, music, literature, philosophy, and science. They stand out, shining the light, while the most blurred minds strive to show off in darkness, seeking power in the material world, taking roles as politicians and business tycoons. Hence the state of the world. I will return to this issue in a future podcast. Right now, I hope I have been able to give you a different understanding of the body consciousness in you.